What's up guys, SirAlien here, and today I'm going to show you guys a tutorial on how, well, the Photoshop part on how to create your own YouTube banner. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so this is what we're going to be creating right here. In this, well, this is what I'm going to try to make it, or duplicate everything. Obviously not just take it and put it on a wallpaper, because that's not even showing you anything. I'm just going to try to show you almost everything I did. I'm going to try to show you things people use. I'm going to save the color correction for the third part or fourth part. As you can see, if I remove the color correction, it looks terrible. And then I'll show you everything that's in here. Like we have this, which changes the color. I wanted it to be, I guess that's sepia or something like that. And then every single one of these complement each other. As you can see, I can just remove them. Some of them bring out bring out certain parts and then lighten up the others. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the next tutorial, but I want to show you the overlays and stuff like that for right now. Alright, so here are the overlays that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, let me remove the CC. I mean, it's a bit bright, but I think I could show you a little bit better what this is. So you can see the lines out up here. It's not that big of a deal because we're just trying to get the center. So hold on, where's alright, these rulers. As you can see, this is the part, I think this is where your avatar, the little avatar starts right here. So you're going to want to put obviously everything in this part. I'll put this actually this whole, well, I'm actually going to use this, but I'm going to actually put my template, which will be this one, in the description below so you guys can download it, because I don't really see a lot of them out there, especially the ones with the rulers. So now let me show you the overlays part. So I have a clouds, which is actually just a filter in Photoshop. And then, hold on, let me figure out what this is. Oh, it's just a bit of smoke. Everything needs to be like subtle, and I don't. It's hard to explain what you want to be subtle, but a lot of it. See, if I didn't have this part right here, which I'm pretty sure this is just something to lighten it up, then you wouldn't be able to see a lot and just things like that. I'm going to show you here in a couple minutes how to just start it all. I'm just showing you what is I guess going to be expected. So let me remove these because I imagine it's probably going to be hard to see. A lot of this is just smoke. Some of this is, see, like that right there is actually a radial. I'll show you guys everything that I did over here. So let's just go into the logo part. And not a lot is in here. A couple, like one adjustment layer, which just, I think it's lightening it up. I can't, hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's lightening it up. Okay, so a lot of people, if you've seen this this type of tutorial before, you'll see that a lot of people like to duplicate their layers and stuff like that. I think I used multiple things here, and then I just merged them together because I'll show you what all I did. So it's okay. So then behind the logo is smoke. And there's a big difference between putting stuff behind the logo and putting stuff in front of it. I'll show you that too. It makes it look more realistic, just not completely just everything's behind it, and it kind of hides but makes the logo stand out. I don't know if that makes any sense. So, and everything in here is from resources, which obviously you are going to need. It's the most important thing. I'll give you a lot of YouTubers that I've gotten my things from, half of these, and I can't release any of this stuff because they're not mine, and some of them are paid. I don't know if you guys can see up here, me scrolling through the packs, but I'll give you the links to their channels so you can either buy or download these things. So without further ado, let's actually get into the tutorial. Okay, so let's just go into my template, or whatever template you're using. I already imported the text, so it just saved, 3 seconds or whatever of time. So next is, I'm going to show you what to do with this text, okay? If I remember correctly, what I did is I added some filters, which I'll show you here in a second. So basically duplicate this 3 times, well 2 more times, which is Control J, and then hold Shift and click, make sure, and click on this bottom one, because this one will most likely be selected. So you have all 3 of them selected, and rasterize the layers, which means that you can edit them in any way or whatever. So let me hide these 2, and actually let me hide those 2, and then alright, so double click, which will take you into the layer styles, and I'm gonna make sure I can see it. I'm gonna hit drop shadow and take off soft light and make it normal, uncheck global light, and then hit this to 90-degree angle. The distance should be off. The size can be I keep mine from either between 5 and 10, depending on what type of thing I'm using. What is it doing? Okay, anyway, use an outer glow and put it to normal. Then I put it to black. Sometimes it's too black though. I usually higher the size and lower the opacity, and I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the drop shadow. And then I go to gradient, and then I keep it from black to white. I just reverse it and go to reflected. Actually, the style, and go to reflected, and I hit overlay. This just adds adds dark on the up and the top and the bottom, and then in the middle is going to be like a light, and it just and then make sure the angle is around here. Depending on what you're using, it's effective in any way. Stay away from bevel and emboss, especially if you have what I helped you create in the last tutorial, in the advanced tutorial. And color overlay, I usually either use white, depending on if I want to lighten it. So this obviously lightens it. Probably put it down to about 45 or 44, somewhere around there. And patterns, I made these patterns myself. I'll put these in the description along with everything else that you see in this tutorial. Scan lines, I'd stay away from those. Those are usually put on the background. This one I like to use. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay. And this one, I made all these myself. Well, I didn't make all of them myself. I just put them in myself. I don't think I used any of them on the original one I created, but I don't know. They're helpful to use if you're trying not to use textures yourself or something like that. So just keep away from, again, the bevel. You can do inner shadow. Just do the same thing on those that you did on the drop shadow. Take the distance all the way down to 0. Put the size up to, it varies on the size, honestly. And then keep it on multiply if you want to. You can also put it on overlay. I don't really see a difference. Oh yeah, I see a difference. Never mind. And inner glow can do the same exact thing, but I'm just going to stay away from that. So the next, I'm going to hide this and, this layer, and then go for the one of the duplicated ones, and go to filter gallery. It's not gonna take a minute to load. You can mess around with these settings. A lot of them do a bunch of different things. We're just gonna use stylize and go to glowing edges. The edge brightness will bring it down. You obviously don't want it the highest it can go. I keep mine in between 15 and, actually 10 and 15, and then the edge width depends on the logo I'm using. So the smoothness, I keep this up at almost as high as as high as it goes. That doesn't make it look weird. Like this makes it look too bright, and you can't really do anything. I'd be impressed if you could do something like that, something with that. But I'll show you what we're going to be doing with this in a second. And if you've seen other tutorials like this, you're probably going to have an idea what we're going to do. Then hit OK. Then this is the part where you unhide this part. well, the one we created earlier. I mean, the layers we basically added earlier. Then go to this blending option. A lot of people, well, a lot of new people don't know what the blending option does. Hold on. Okay, anyway. Go to the blending options. Sometimes I use my mouse wheel to scroll through. Actually, one thing you want to do, if yours is all colorful and I guess colors that you don't really want, what you want to do is press Control U. And this is another thing, a reason why we rasterize the layer. Go to colorize. I'm going to leave mine around right there. Okay, so, and then now, sometimes linear dodge add works. You have to lower the opacity. Hold on. Let me just figure out some things. This is the part where you have to like experiment with things and see if they work, because there's not a right or wrong way to do these. So let's just. All right, so we're gonna keep it like that. Okay, I just put color dodge on. So let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you guys can. I obviously can see that. So then now we're gonna want to unhide. Well, unhide that one, the one in the middle, and go to filter. Go back to filter gallery, and go to I don't know how to say the craculor or something like that. You can also go up to here to the brush strokes. Some of these are good, but not with this logo or my logo. And well, actually spatter looks pretty good. So we can, it's either, you can do one of two things. You can heighten this a little bit and add it to the to like the background part, so you can have some, I don't know, cool effects in the back, but that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna mess around with this part, so this lightens it. I don't really like that as much, so you're gonna lower the opacity. It certainly does add an effect to it, but not what I thought it was gonna add. So anyway, let's go back into the filter. I'm just gonna do what I was gonna do originally. Go to texture. That's crack. I still don't know how to say that word. Mess with the spacing. None of it's too different. Some of it actually, it's just lowering it or adding more to it. So I'm just keep it around there. The crack depth, well, is like the quality of the, well, obviously the cracks, and then the brightness is the, I guess, specular, you could say, if you want to put it in Cinema 4D terms. And then go to OK, and it should add a different effect to it. Actually, I think you got to move them around. Oh, okay, that's why. All right, so just change your blending options around. Just something you like. Mine's going to be on soft light. And then now I'm going to show you guys the next part, which is adding in smoke and other things, like, well, other resources. So okay, so to add in smoke is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some resources. I got 3 sets of resources, or they're packs that some are purchased and some are not purchased. They're just downloadable. I'll give you the links to all of them in the description. So first off, I'm gonna show you guys, if you're using a logo or whatever text, you just don't want this background to be completely plain. I'm gonna show you how to change that up in like a second here. Once I show you the type of resources you're gonna want to make this, if it's gonna load. So now what you're gonna need, obviously this isn't the same. It looks a little bit different. The logo does. It looks darker or brighter. Either one. I don't know. Anyway. So let's go into here. I already chose, just to save time, some resources that you're going to want to look at. So I have a flare, which is this thing. It's kind of hard to separate the two because they kind of look like they're together. And there's some bokeh, or what is it? It's particles. So let me just duplicate these layers. And wait, which one? I think it's this, yeah, it's this one. Alright, so I went through all of them. and some of this is probably going to be too much, and I'm probably going to end up deleting some of them, but it's better to have obviously more resources than none or so. I'm going to save this flare for the finishing touches, because you're going to want to add those normally last. So where's my, okay, now let me copy this over first, and then let me show you guys this, well, a few tricks. So alright, if this will load. Alright, so here's all the stuff that I just imported. Let me hide all of it. And then we're going to lighten up this and try to make it stand out. So make a new layer. I'm going to name this radial. I can't see because my mouse is in the way. I think I still spelled it. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Whatever, I'll just keep it like that. So now take your brush tool and make sure it's like soft brush around 500 or whatever. And you can make this bigger, obviously. Make sure it's on white, and hit it once. Then lower the opacity to around, well, pretty low. Put it on soft light, so you can actually higher it. Make sure you put it on soft light first. Then Control T, and you can spread it out like this if you want to. You don't have to. And then last thing I'm gonna tell you guys to do is hit the clipping mask, and it's still a little bit too bright. You want it to stand out, but you don't want it like to stand out too much, because just some of this stuff in here. So let me find the grunge and show you. Where is? Oh, what? Do I not have it in here anymore or something? Oh, it's the top one. Alright, so let me show you this. Okay, make sure whenever you have this, okay, we're going to put it below the clipping mask, actually above it. So it's still clipping mask, but it's not below the radial, because it's just going to brighten it up. So anyway, this right here, you can, mine's already on lighten. You can put yours on lighten if you want to. Again, play around with the settings. Overlay, this and that. Some of it's obviously too dark or whatever, so you can switch it to lighten. But you don't, this right here is, to me, it's not okay, but you can keep it if you like it that way. It's just not going to add to these effects. It's just not going to help these effects. Like, some of these effects aren't even going to work, and I'm going to have to look for new ones, but I'll pause the video whenever I need to if I figure that out. So just take this and lower the opacity to wherever your preference is. Mine is right about there. Probably a little bit down more. It just adds contrast or whatever to the background, so it doesn't completely look plain. Alright, so let me add in this light and show you how to. Alright, so you obviously don't want this background, this black background. Go to normal, hit linear dodge add, and I'm gonna rotate this a bit so it doesn't. So it looks it's coming from directly up, not the way, not like sideways. And let me put this up a little bit. Alright, and then put this on the clipping mask too. And then now take your soft brush, well, the eraser, and get the soft brush part. And alright, that looks good enough. And lower the opacity. Now I'm not gonna, I don't know how this, wait, we're gonna change the color first. So that's Control U, and then now we can lower the opacity. And so that adds just more effect to it, so it doesn't look, again, it doesn't look completely plain. Alright, so next we're gonna add in this, we're gonna open up these smoke layers. So now we're gonna make a, oh, okay, I don't want to move that. We're gonna make a, I guess, educated yes here, and we're gonna move this around. So, well, actually, we're gonna have to make it in front of all these. So let me just put this in a grouping, and then name that logo. I can't really spell today. And so now this smoke is in front of it. Now, I don't like the way the smoke, well, first of all, I don't like the color, so let me change the color around. That looks, alright, that looks better. And then next, let's look at the, yeah, let's look at the, like this right here. I don't know if you guys can see that it's overlapping it too much. I don't want it overlapping it too much, and I don't want too much of it out here. So let me show you how to adjust that a bit. So you're gonna have to make the brush smaller, well, for this part out here, and just erase out here a little bit, but make it look like a realistic, I guess, a realistic erase. And alright, so now that I got this dealt with, we're gonna have to make it a little bit bigger. About enough to like fit the inside of your the logo or whatever. That's how I'd base it on. And then hit it like that. Well, hold on. Hold on a minute. Want it more like this. Alright, so that is good enough for me. But the thing is, if you lower the opacity to make it look like this, will look less of a, you know, less of an effect. It's just gonna look grayish and look bad, but you're not really gonna notice it over all the other parts. Okay, my computer's acting really slow. Alright, so now we're gonna want to hold on, which one is unselected? Okay, this one. Alright, the same thing with this one. We're gonna add this in. Now I'm not gonna finish this background right now. I'll probably add a little bit more stuff into it and show you what I did, but for the most part we're just gonna keep it like this, because this is probably like the last thing we're gonna add, and that'll probably be the end of this tutorial. So now again, hit Control U, or you don't have to hit Control U. I just don't like the way it looks. Alright, so I'm going to take out this part right here because it's none of this over here is needed. And we're going to move this a little bit over. I could just vertical flip it. I can, but I don't like the way that looks. So now you do the same thing. Just make sure some is kind of over it, or it's just not going to look right. Or to me it doesn't look right, but maybe to you it does. Alright, so I didn't use these two, and we have this basic look effect already. But I will add in some flares. Well, one flare. Sorry if it's kind of frozen up right for me right now. Alright, so it just froze up on me a little bit, so I had to you know, pause it real quick. So let me look for some flares. So I'm gonna probably pause it. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna pause it again so I can find some flares to use. And I'm just gonna add one flare in to show you guys how to do that, and then that'll be the end of the tutorial. So see you guys in a second. Alright, so I found a flare and I'm gonna use it. So we're gonna want to add it in down here, or actually never mind, we're gonna have to add it in up here because that's how it is in the tutorial. Now this is this is where you judge for yourself, like how you want it to look. So we're gonna take this end off because it's gonna look weird with that just on there, because we're gonna probably have to make it a little bit bigger. So then just take your soft brush and erase that out, and I'm gonna put it on front. I don't know what this looks like. Let me just take it back to screen, and I'm gonna, I don't know what I just hit there. Oh, that's what I hit. Alright, I didn't mean to do that. So now hit Control T and make it bigger, like that. But also a trick to doing that is to hold Control Alt so it stays to size, and then we're going to change the color of it. Actually, I don't think this is really gonna do what I think it's gonna do. Actually, we could add this to the bottom and see what that does. But the problem with this is it's kind of hard to find a flare. I thought I found one, but I'll actually just show you that in the next tutorial. It's a bit of a fail, but it's just, I don't know, it's just hard to find a flare, and I had to find it quickly because I wanted to get it done. Actually, you could just do something like this. Make sure the part of the flare is out. I'll go into more detail actually next time because this tutorial is really going overboard. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.